Ogi Ogas, the man who has uncovered all the naughty things we're up to on the internet. Ogi, what's on the end of everybody's fork on the internet? This is a phrase you use, a very entertaining metaphorical phrase you use to describe what we're all up to online.
So men have much more surprising interests than women, which probably isn't going to come as a surprise to anybody, but it's true. When you look at what men do online, there was a lot of surprises. With women, much fewer surprises. Some of the conventional wisdom about what men like was certainly proven. For example, the single most popular interest among men is youth. Men search for young women as a category more than any other particular category of sexual tastes.
Young being pedophile or 17-year-old?
The truth is, when we actually broke down the specific ages that men search for, and yes, as you go below 18, there does seem to be a peak that goes higher. So there's more searches for 16-year-olds than 18-year-olds. There's more searches for 18-year-olds than 21-year-olds. But one of the surprises is the popularity of older women. There's significant interest all around the world in older women, women in their 40s, in their 50s, even in their 60s. In fact, granny porn, which is exactly what it sounds like, has a surprising popularity in countries all around the world. That's a big surprise. That wasn't something that scientists, especially biological theorists, had anticipated. But in fact, more men search for 50-year-old women than 19-year-old women. Part of that's probably because if you're going to search for a woman in the teens, you're probably going to search for 18 or 16, just the more obvious years to search for. And 50 is sort of a median age for an older woman. But still, it is interesting that more men type in searches for 50-year-olds.
In the book, you explain that by saying that men like 40 and 50-year-old women because they're more sexually experienced.
So usually that's what is commonly called MILFs or cougars. And that's usually women in their 30s and 40s. So it's true, very popular. One of the most popular varieties of sexual interest for men is women in their 30s and 40s. And yes, they almost always are aggressive and seductive. The fact that they have experience is part of the appeal. So it's not across the board women in the 30s and 40s. So a shy 40-year-old woman wouldn't be considered as appealing as an aggressive seductress living next door in her 40s.
And how perverted are men on the internet?
Men
and I
like
use that term in inverted commas because you, as a scientist, would probably shrug your shoulders at such a puritanical
That's right. In
term.
fact, until now, we simply have not known what interests were deviant and what were common. We just did not have enough data to really say what was deviant or not. Now we do. So some things that have been considered unorthodox or unusual turn out to be very common. One of the most popular kinds of sexual interest for men, it turns out, the fifth most popular interest is wives and girlfriends who are cheating on their boyfriend. And this isn't just other people's wives. This is fantasies of men's own wives and girlfriends cheating. Extraordinarily popular.
So what does that mean? Men will pay to watch their girlfriends or their wives cheat on them or participate in that?
Well, there's this very active subculture, swinging subculture, sometimes called the hot wife subculture too.
Yes, I'm very familiar with it.
Where couples, man and woman, seek out a partner, usually, in this case, a male, sometimes called a bull, to have sex with the wife. So many men actually live out this fantasy, not just imagine it. But there's also substantial interest in erotic stories about this, and in pornography that features, the fantasy scenarios of cheating wives. And one interesting aspect of this is the data pretty clearly shows that men that have this fantasy usually prefer a black man to be having sex with their wife or girlfriend. Black men are most common in the stories, in the cheating wife porn. Black men are very popular. And we even analyzed on Craigslist couples searching for a third, for a guy to be a partner. And 1/3 of those searches was for black men.
Do women share this fantasy, particularly the wives and girlfriends?
we can only judge from comments we've read. We analyzed a number of comments that women have posted on swinger sites and hot wife sites. And of course, this is a self-selected group of women who are posting because they like it. But there's clearly some set of women that get satisfaction out of this and do enjoy it. It's hard to say how broad that fantasy is. This is not a fantasy that appears often in romance novels or in erotic fiction written by women.